Good thing I caught that. Oh, my golly. Can you hear me now? How about now? See how silence, when you have information, doesn't work? It's taunting. People want to know, what do you have to say? So, Mark Williams, it appears that Debbie, the mother of Jay Slater, has called you out. TikTok, time up. Either share it or step aside. Now, I went back and I looked at some of Mark Williams' previous videos and claims that he made during the case. And he claimed to have information that he handed over to the authorities. Important, vital evidence that he handed over. Is that what he's talking about? I don't know. But I do think Mark has something. He claims he had the phone records. I don't know whose. Neither do you. He just said he had phone records. But there's a lot to go over. I found it interesting that he talks about this. How do I want to put it strongly? Because I want to be careful. He talks about whatever the friends are doing and what they're involved in. And it triggered me up on an old memory. And then I saw Evil Exists. And he had the same memory, I think, because he pulled it up and I didn't have to go find it. And then I added to it a little bit, showing you a picture I'm going to be showing you of Lucy, that now you can understand more of the story of what Mark may be saying about these involvement with friends. I just kind of took it all and I'm like, oh, Mark, I think I get what you're cooking. I do. But the fact you're not sharing it, that you're withholding it, I don't get that. Why would you have not shared something very crucial or need to know information with the family? That's just wrong, dude. Then to come out and taunt and tease that when the time is right, you'll share it. When the time is right. Oh, wait a minute. It was Chris Tenerife that said the truth will come out when, how did he say it? Something along the lines of the truth will come out when it needs to. And Rachel said the same thing. The truth will come out when it needs to, won't it? So you have all this knowledge of this hidden, the truth isn't out yet, but you want everybody, including the mom and the father, just to take it that you have information that the rest of us don't deserve. That's what it feels like. And so if you have information, you're alleging, you talked to Debbie in the last day and then today as well, on your last little video I'm about to show, and I hope to God you told her what you knew. And I think now that you've come out publicly, Mark, and, taunted everybody with this, oh, I have only information that I'm specifically able to know because of my placement of talking to all these people. What? We don't care your specific position. We want justice for Jay Slater. Remember that kid that was dancing that night that didn't look right? That looked off his face? The one that says, Mom, why didn't you pack me sun lotion and things like this to his mom, because or whatever, because of he's a kid, a human being that had a sunburn, and now you're withholding information from the mother? Welcome to 1111 True Crime. I don't know where we're going with this, but I got some things to show you. And in that, I think we're going to dig into something that really opens up what may have really been what Mark may have been talking about. Hey, I'm free to speculate when you can't tell us the truth, right? You are joining a live, interactive, true crime chat. I'm Mama D. I'm a little bit hot today because I feel for Debbie. Mark did exactly what he said he didn't want to do, apparently, and that is hurt the mother and the family of Jay Slater. So I'm not happy. Debbie ain't happy, I ain't happy, right? I feel for her. I'm a mother of those age group of boys. I get it. You can't protect them from the world, though. Remember that. There are bad people out there. Let's say hello to a few people. Hey, Double Doll. Interesting. Yeah, I want to go back and visit something that was, I think, much more important. And this connects directly to Lucy. Like, we got a picture of Lucy. We have something she has, which is her hand with a certain ring. All right? I've got the picture of Lucy. This girl tells the story and then shows you, this is Lucy. She's in photographs with Lucy. This is Lucy with her ring. This is, yeah, wow. The claims the girl makes is that Lucy knows absolutely more, and that oh my, it gets crazy. Let's just jump in. I am so full of energy. Hey, Skay Energy. Hi, Mama D. Great to catch you live. Justice for Jay. Today's a big day. I'm celebrating because Debbie is fighting back and finding her voice, which means a good sign of healing, because everybody has grief in their own manner, and we want to give her the grace to do that. So I'm not calling her out. I'm celebrating that she is at that point able to speak up and address some things that her head may be clearing, and she's starting to realize some things. And the same with Warren. I feel both parents, as well as Zach and all the family and friends that adore Jay, need some grace. But in that, it makes us protective as a society and as a niche, if you want to call it. I don't know if we're a niche or not. Some say we're a true crime niche. You know what? We're a justice niche. Okay? We're justice. We want truth. We want the story to be told. We want the victims acknowledged as human beings and not pawns in some game to promote your next big investigation or your next big deal. We want the truth revealed. That's what we're all here for. Fozzie Dare says, woohoo, I think I caught a live that won't finish in 30 seconds. Well, thank you, lovely. Hellman says, news articles came out that the two guys are getting forced to tell the truth. This sheds some light, I hope. I hope so. Hey, all the way to London, Michelle. So if you are watching replay, I want to say thank you to my replay crew. You guys are incredible as well. Just fast forward 30 seconds and we'll be done with the meet and greet. But this is a live audience and it's interactive. And so you're going to see a lot of people on here. I like giving everybody a voice. Official. Official. I never ran to my phone so fast ever. That's the best compliment in the world. All right, let's get rolling. So, you probably have heard everything up to this point. So let's just go with the hottest, greatest live part about this case. And then we're going to backtrack. This is Mark addressing. So let me put it in perspective. Came out a few days. I've got that recording of him sharing that when the time was right, the things he had kept to himself, he would share on what happened as to why Jay Slater was scared and leaving the B&B, like fleeing. All right. He would share that when the time was right. So he made that statement, which ticked a lot of us off. But he claimed the reason he wasn't sharing is because he didn't want to upset the family. Well, the Sun came out with an interview from Jay Slater's mom, and she's not too happy. And she's saying it has opened up a lot of pain in her, and she can't sleep at night. Now, I want to tell you, I had a night terror last night. A night terror. I am over 50 years old. I've earned every level, by the way. What am I doing having a night terror? If this is a night terror that Debbie's having, I want to tell you something. As a grown arse woman, I had to get up, turn every light on, And it involved a child, and it horrified me trying to save this kid. And reposition me as an adult to get back onto it. So I can kind of understand a little tiny taste of the ocean of emotion that Debbie's going through. So you would expect that when Mark comes back to answer Debbie in a way, because she's calling him out, saying basically, share what you have to say or shut it down. Put up or shut up, right? Here's how he double downs on what he has to say. It's a big run around. Let's jump over and I'll show you what he's saying.
Post again in relation to Jay Slater, but I really think that I've just got to say a couple of things. There's been so much inaccurate reporting, both in terms of the newspapers, but specifically online. People who, of course, think they know the answers, they've done more investigation than I have, they know everything. Well, the reality is I've spoken to everybody bar one person, and at every stage I kept Debbie and the family updated. I've spoken to Debbie in detail at the beginning of October. I spoke to her again yesterday. I spoke to her again today. There is no issue between Debbie and I. Have huge respect for her and the family who have been through the most horrific situation, not just losing their child, but also having to go through all of that media coverage. They were in the spotlight, not just on a national, but on an international level. So huge respect for them. Let's just consider, before we post something, what we're saying and what the impact is on the...
What? Mark, you're the one that got called out by Debbie, not us. We don't need to listen to you tell us how we need to be careful what we post. We're aware of that. We're not the one that is alleging Jay is sucked into the underworld by drug dealers. We're wanting to know if they set Jay up. Okay? I'm not alleging that Jay stole a watch. I'm alleging the same thing that I think Debbie thinks when she says it doesn't look like Jay is conscious. Did somebody else beside him have his phone? She's not recognizing her son in that little, I stole an AP shot. She's not recognizing her own son. I don't think she buys that Jay stole a watch. Set up? Maybe. But let's let you keep rolling here. Sorry, guys.
Family. But the reality is, no issue between Debbie and I. Huge respect, and I'll be there to continue to support her as the days go forward. And of course, the next stage for them will be an inquest at a very difficult time for them.
I am speechless. So you don't clear anything up. You basically just want to get everybody off your back because it sounds to us like you have ripped open a lot of pain in your actions. A lot of what you did in this case has the rest of us still trying to get our head off a swivel. Because we were like, what? You were the one, Mark, that started this. Let me give you a good reminder, Mark, why you owe all of us, not just Debbie. Let's see. Let's start with this one.
On the morning of the 17th of June, on arrival back to the rental, Jay spoke to a number of different people on his phone, and they would describe him as very much awake and still buzzing. As a result of information we've received, we now know that Jay took certain actions whilst at the rental because he was clearly worried about his own safety.
Excuse me? That is the original source that Jay was fleeing the Airbnb, scared for his life. Because Mark Williams said so. And Mark Williams was boots on the ground and still to this day keeps boasting about all the inside people that were with Jay talking to him. So we trusted you, Mark, and so did Debbie. So did Warren, and so did Zach.
And this was shortly before he decided to leave. In the last few days, I've received a significant new piece of information which I've shared with both the British and Spanish police. This provides some clarity as to why he may have left in a hurry and did not want to return to the rental even though his phone was about to go flat.
Okay, let's rewind that. He turned over evidence to the authorities that's going to explain why Jay would have left without charging his phone in such a hurry. Right? He turned it over. So, why hasn't he shared that with Debbie? Because that's what she's asking, Mark. There's the piece of information that you shared with the authorities, Mark, is what Debbie wants. That exact statement. Let's back it up. What evidence did you share with the authorities? Because Debbie needs to know. And I feel after you behave this way publicly, it's wrong to bring a whole bunch of information out like this and then leave everyone hanging. Let's go back over.
Actions whilst at the rental because he was clearly worried about his own safety, and this was shortly before he decided to leave. In the last few days, I've received a significant new piece of information which I've shared with both the British and Spanish police.
A significant piece of information.
This provides some clarity as to why he may have left in a hurry and did not want to return to the rental even though his phone was about to go flat.
And it provides some clarity, right?
I know the internet is awash with theories. Some are massively wild speculation, others have elements of the truth, but overwhelmingly many are just made up. We are uniquely placed, having spoken to nearly all the key witnesses, to cross-check their accounts and evidence, thus building the clearest picture. We know that Jay was on his phone and alone at 08:50 on Monday the 17th of June, walking on a track just off the main road, about 30 minutes walk from the apartment. It was a cold, damp morning, only 18 degrees, with a high of that day only reaching 20. The evidence we've been able to collect, including...
Just give it a second. Or maybe not. We've seen it. But that's what I'm talking about. So Mark has something, and he's gone on into the next thing, which was a couple days ago, where he re-spits out a little bit more, I believe, about that information that he handed to the British and Spanish police. Whatever that crucial piece that brought clarity into why Jay left that Airbnb so quickly. He had it. He had given it to the police. That's what he said. I'm not saying he's honest, but if he is, this adds more to maybe what information? What was that information that he gave them about?
So I'm now back on social media. I took a small break. And one of the questions that I got asked lots and lots through direct messaging, because my direct messages are open, was an update in relation to Jay Slater. I went out, did the investigation, worked very closely with the family, and as a result of that got a lot of information, but also a lot of information from potential witnesses, people involved, people who knew Jay, and also from the authorities in a roundabout way. They weren't directly talking to me, but I was in contact with people who were in contact with the authorities. One of the things that's very clear is...
So how did he Words matter. He just got done saying that he directly handed over, right, to the authorities, both the British and the blah, blah, blahs. He handed over critical information. He just said it over here, and I told you. Whatever that was, I think we're going to learn more. Now he's saying he was never in direct contact with the police. What? What are you doing? How can you have handed over information to those people that are in the higher ups, the British and the Spanish police, but then in this video claim you've had no direct contact? I'm making a reaction video, right? I didn't even know I was capable of doing that. Apparently I am. Because this is my gut reaction. Like, I just caught you. And you're saying you were in direct contact. You handed over critical information that's going to bring clarity. I'm all for it, Mark. I'm all with you. I'm on board. So were a lot of people. We're like, all right. He's got contacts. He's handing over information to the police. We're going to get justice. But then in your next cheek, out the other side of your face, in the very next interview that I'm showing, you're stating you haven't had any direct contact with the police, but you've had contact with those that have contact with the police. So how do you know your evidence ever got to the police? Did you give your evidence to Rachel or Christianity, or did you give it to Ahab? Did you give it to Lucy or Brad or Brandon? Who'd you give your information to that then was already in contact with the police? You feel me, guys? Tater tot. Tater tot casserole.
Of course, there's a huge amount of misinformation. I've been back and looked through some of the videos that I took. So when I went out there, I took a lot of videos in relation to my investigation, but also thought processes of whilst that investigation was going on. And one of the interesting aspects of it is, as is always the case for every investigation, is you find information out and you look at that, and then a couple of days later that information changes or it's evidenced in some way. And it's quite interesting. Some of the information that came to me in the very early days wasn't accurate, wasn't correct, and I needed to validate. And I was in a unique position because I, of course, I had access to the family, had access to mobile phone records, I had access to friends. And in fact,
see, he says he has access to phone records. All right. We're going to get off the Mark thing for a little bit. We're going to switch it up, right? We'll get over here. I want you to look at this photograph I'm going to get on the screen for you of Miss Lucy May. So, Lucy May. Let me get this right here. Let's see if I can blow it up. Zoom. Can I just go plus and zoom it in? No. That mark's on it. All right. I want you to look at this part right here. Right there. Okay. Let me see if I can move it on camera a little bit. Better for you. Nope, it jumps it down low if I do that. All right. So you're seeing this. It's probably hard to see on your phone. I know I have a different way to do it. There's always a different way to do something. We're going to open it with photos so that I can use my tool to get that hand. Because this is important. This is really, really important. See this hand right there? Let me grab a quick clip. Okay. This hand. Let's open up PowerPoint. Give me a minute, you guys. We got a lot going on. And it is alive. But sometimes, oh, look, I already did it. I didn't know how busy I'd gotten. Okay, we're going to take off chat so y'all can see this. Okay, there's a reason to all this madness. I promise you do not want to miss this. We're going to cut all this out, crop it off. I just want Lucy's little hand. right there. But you saw it come from that picture, right? Okay. Now, we're going to jump back over to that, but I need you to listen to, this came from Evil Exists. Right here. So this witness claims to be a witness, knew Lucy, and knows all about Lucy. Now what's important is, see that picture of the hand with Lucy? Now you know where it came from, right? This picture right here is what we just looked at. That's why I was showing you it is absolutely Lucy's hand. Very vital for any of this to make sense, okay? This witness claims, I wasn't sure on the situation before, as so many stories were going around, but I am certain now, in March, just gone, me and my friend went to Tenerife for my 21st birthday and met this girl at Green World Festival in Siam Park. We thought nothing of her and just seen her as a lovely girl. She went on to tell us how she got rugs into the rave, selling rugs all over the island. She told us the situation a little more and went on to tell us I skipped a part. Let me back up. She has got rugs into the rave and selling rugs all over the island. She told us how she goes to all different raves and sells rugs. She was with a mixed race man who spoke on the situation a little more and went on to tell us he had pink stuff and kept offering us cocaine. All night they were at it. She 1,000,000% knows something we don't. Her name has stuck with me. I can hear her telling me her name and how she sells rugs in every festival and how the mixed race man had the pink stuff, meaning mage. I am in complete shock, and Lucy definitely knows more than she's letting on. And then the person goes on to show us the photographs of her and Lucy allegedly together. Are you ready for this? Because I think I know who the mixed race man is. I could be wrong, but let's go. Okay, so after that, Evil Exists went and got the rest of the post and shows. One, here you go. Allegedly, this is Lucy, right? Let's see. As the picture gets smaller, I can see the rings on her other hand, which do match. I should have grabbed her other hand. Okay, let's go back. Let's do it. Let's get her other hand. Yeah, look at that. See? So it definitely matches. Yep. Okay, where were we? Let's get back. Okay. Here, another picture with Lucy. Same fingernails. You see those rings? This is with Lucy. And there's a bunch more. You'd have to follow Evil Excess. Go to his channel. Check him out. Doing a great job. And check out his links because, yeah, that looks like Lucy. So what my questions are this. All right? So when Mark claims that Jay opened up, as he says, the underworld.
Although we have opened up links with dangerous criminal underworld of drugs and associated crime.
Is that because he has accessed the phone records of the group of people Jay was with? You feel me? Because I guarantee you, if they're running, it's all over their phones. So is that what he turned in to the Spanish and British police? She's a wannabe gangsta. Bobbin says, Lucy proper gangsta role. Let's get chat back on the board. Jaybird says MWT knows exactly what he's doing, popping up and disappears like clockwork, leaving aggressive, exaggerated, bold, circumstantial statement and cleverly making it or implying as fact by using Debbie. Boom! Jaybird! You get a gold star! Boom, 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 boom. You're right. Because if he did have evidence that he turned over to the British police or the Spanish police or both, that would have meant he had direct contact with them. They would have wanted to know where he got it from, and he would have said, I have direct contact with the police. But then he says he didn't ever talk. He never had a direct relation with the police. So I have to call it out. I have to say, he's full of crap. But I do wonder about this person because she does have pictures at that time during that festival. So I thought we'd look together. She said the Green World Festival. Now we would know that would have to be in March, right? So we're going to look it up together on our Google to see if it holds any water for even the timing. So March, Green World Fest 2024. Let's go here. I could have went to Instagram, I guess. Green World Festival. All right, let's see. How do we find out, you guys? I wish I gave a list of their old ones. Let's go to their Instagram and look for an ad. Maybe we'll learn something. Okay, what do we got? Black World. This one was April 19th. I don't know, y'all. There isn't any dates. It's really confusing. All right, here's a new way to do it. Green World Festival, March, or we'll just put 2024. Maybe it wasn't in March. Oh, we get the same thing. March 30th, 2024. Get Mappa Fest by Green World tickets. Is that just the deadline? Green World Festival Mappa. Is he going to let me go? Nope, because it's over. Dang. So you feel me? I do believe that is. Here it is, Green World Festival, and somebody commented in March. I believe. Oh, shoot, I'm back on the... Why does it do that? You feel me? Something to look into. I think it could hold water. And then, I don't know who it was, sent me a thing where Lucy's back selling tickets, too, at the new rave. And then she pulled it off, but they still got a screenshot. Let me see if I can see where I even put it. So, my point being, while I look this up, let's see if we got Lucy anywhere. Let's go. Search, slides, Lucy. Nope, I don't have it in here. Okay. So, the point being, if Lucy really is a runner, and you have this mixed race man, I remember when I was talking about the little Tic Tacs at AAB and two boys were standing on, allegedly, right after Jay went missing. It's kind of sunset or sunrise. I believe it's sunrise. And we all looked at that, and I went on about, could that be Potter paper? And everybody jumped me. They're like, that's not Potter. You can see how dark his legs are. Well, everybody was like, he's a mixed race man. And he is. And then I think back to Topical Juice doing the interview with the two guys that a couple guys that had allegedly broke into Potter's were clearing up the whole story and said Lucy and Potter are in business together. So when I look at this post that we just reviewed, and she's talking about this Lucy being with a mixed race man, I'm wondering if that's Potter. Now, I know y'all are going to be all like, oh my God, she's doing it again. I have to be honest with what I think and what I feel, and I believe Mark saw something in those phone downloads that show how involved and why the friends had concern, because a whole world was being uncovered. What did he call it? Let's listen to Mark's words again. I think this is what he found when he looked at their phones.
His disappearance, although we have opened up links with dangerous criminal underworld of drugs and associated crime. We have a number of outstanding actions that still require completing and remain open-minded with our investigation. I would like to appeal again for any parties involved in their own searches to share their data with us so we can compile an accurate...
And yet, he's not willing to share. He's not willing to share with us. So I'm just saying, we got a girl named Lucy that allegedly was working with Potter, that was trying to do land work, trying to gain buildings. We got Roman, the ex-Tenerife mayor that allegedly has something to do with properties. I don't doubt real estate. Could Lucy be a broker? If you feel me. A broker. It would explain her trips, her running. And I'm not talking about on the up and up. Right? And it could explain that as she's a broker, she leverages much more than real estate, but other things as well for people. Which then would make sense if they're brokeraging the product come in through Masca, then it's offered at businesses in town. So it's just such a neat little deal, right? And could it be that Jay uncovered something he wasn't prepared for? And so they spiked him. Because to me, the last thing I saw in Jay Slater of any proof of life, he wasn't hardly alive. He looked like he was about to collapse. And to me, I just can't see that boy making it much past that to do anything more. I think he needed medical help. And, you know, that waitress had concern too, and she was there. She's the one that's offering him water. The NRG, Papagayo, didn't want to make a statement. You won't hear anything from us, right? So, if you have this kind of thing, you've got this, you know, fast life, we'll call it. The fast life. The real estate turnaround, along with a lot of things in the air that could have led to trying to bring in a rookie that kind of found out something and was not going to keep it quiet. I don't know. I'm just saying, I really do think when Mark's saying that there was some underworld, I think that they spiked Jay. I really do. I just can't see him walking anywhere. I can't see Jay making it out of that festival at the NRG and walking down the street a block. Like, I think he would be slamming into buildings and cars, and because he couldn't even hold his own body weight up or his head. He is hanging low. Low. I remember when I was young, we had this girl that couldn't hold her liquor, and every time we go out, we had to babysit her. And I'll tell you now, as a group, we babysat her, so we dreaded it when she wanted to go out with us. If she would have looked like that, we would have taken her to the ER, and she wouldn't have looked like that with us there because we were good friends, and we would cut her off and tell the bartender just switch out her drink to water. Period. Right? And that's not happening here. It's a big party life, and if you can't handle it, oh well, it looks like. I mean, got kids jumping on here and doing these little TikToks that are in this case that act like it was just a memory of the summer. Remember that, Jay? Remember that? What? That's not normal. This kid lost his life. And it needs to be cleared up, Mark. You need to come forward. You've taunted the rest of us. Your credibility is on the line. You put yourself, Mark, in a corner. You did it yourself. Through everything, you led us by the nose, through our trust, that you were on the case, that you were figuring it out, that you knew what was going on. And now isn't the time to talk? I'm going to say something to you. If now isn't the time to talk, then you never had anything in the very beginning. You made it all up. Don't ignore us. Prove us wrong that you didn't make it up. Prove us wrong. Show us what you know. Because if they had anything to deal that they gave Jay in any way, even a little, they need to be held responsible. Period. Justice needs to be had. Double Doll says 100%. Kintish Tina says totally agree. He was being spiked. Only thing I think is a certain, in my opinion. Right, Double Doll. Justice for Jay. Darren says Debbie has spoken to the Daily Mail claiming Mark isn't in touch and he needs to give them answers. They have only just stopped the trolls and Mark has opened them up again since Mark's video. All right, so yes, and Peter Bexley said something too. We're going to check this out. Hold on a minute. Let me get this open. So this is a renowned investigator, right? And he shares, oh, they pulled it. Let me look. Maybe I got it wrong. Let me just see. I think they pulled it. Unless I miss, oh, I missed part of it. Okay. Whew. I was like, what? Okay, we got it. Whew. That happens. So this is from today's Mail, Daily Mail. Actually, it's not the Daily Mail. It's a Birmingham Live. Jay Slater investigation update, and anyone who knows must tell all. The former Scotland Yard detective says anyone withholding crucial facts is acting recklessly and rehensibly. Anyone with new Jay Slater info must tell all. A former police officer has said after the team's mom slammed a silent TV investigator. The former Scotland Yard detective says anyone withholding crucial facts is acting recklessly and reprehensibly. Peter Bexley told The Sun that any details around Jay's disappearance could be vital for cops. It comes after Slater's mom, Debbie Duncan, slammed Mark Williams Thomas for hiding info after the 19-year-old was found dead after he vanished for weeks while on holiday in Tenerife. Williams Thomas has been slammed by Debbie this week for not being open with the family or cops around Jay's death. Miss Duncan, 55 has slammed Mark and says a lack of solid proof from the private detective has reignited the trolls online. Channel 4 hunted star Bexley told The Sun, any person who has information that is relevant around Jay Slater's disappearance must do the right thing. That means one of two things. Number one, to impart that information to the authorities and the police in Tenerife. And number 2, to keep Jay's family aware of what they know, and tell them all of that in full. I think he meant aware of what you know, meaning they, Mark, right? Debbie told Mail Online William Thomas' latest move felt like a PR stunt. Peter added, "It is not for people to sit on information, to tease that they have information and not give it all clearly and precisely to the family." Amen to that. He goes on, yeah, it's him talking. He goes on to say, "In my opinion, that could merely extend the torture, the pain, and the hurt that they are obviously still going through." Debbie, who traveled to the Canary Islands to hunt for Jay after he vanished back in mid-June, said, quote, and this is Debbie saying that, "Losing Jay was hard enough, but then having to read what some people are writing is torture." Quote, "I'm not really good, and I would be lying if I said I was all right. The last few hours have just been awful." She's not okay. So then when I come over here, let me grab this. This is her, Debbie, having her voice heard, right? Let's see if I get this one right. Heartbroken mother. This is exclusive out of the Daily Mail, and it is dated for October, yesterday. Exclusive heartbroken mother of Jay Slater slams TV detective, I can't read today, who claims to know the real reason tragic teenager left Airbnb hours before his death. Jay Slater's mother has slammed TV sleuth Mark Williams Thomas for seeking publicity over his son's death and told him to, quote, reveal what he knows after claiming he knows the real reason why the teenager left the Tenerife Airbnb. Within, I'm skipping around, so feel free to check this out on your own. Let me get it back on screen a little bit. Within days, former Detective Williams Thomas flew to Spanish Island and at the time said he would get answers within 72 hours. Speaking to several witnesses, as well as Jay's mother, Debbie Duncan. Tragically, a mother... I can't do it. I can't read. So you're going to have to check it out yourself. Tragically, a month later, Jay's body was found on the TV sleuth who exposed Jimmy Salva. Says he now knows why the youngster left the remote Airbnb in the remote village of Masca, but he has refused to go into details. As the mystery surrounding the teen's disappearance grew, vile and distressing conspiracy theories began to emerge that dodged efforts to find Jay from Oswald Twizzle. All right? So you can go on to check it out. She wants him to tell her what happened. What's the truth? What do you know, Mark? If you haven't got the common decency to tell us, fine, we'll get over it. We won't trust you ever again. But at least have the common decency to tell Debbie what she needs to hear. And Warren and Zach, let the family know. Because playing this hide and seek game, all that's doing is getting the cat really ticked off. I'm just saying. It's causing a lot of pain. And eventually grief does move into a different cycle. And in that, are you facing possible legal issues? You need to worry about that. I'm just saying, you need to think about it. Angela says they brought up the stolen watch again. Wow. Jaybird said these guys even made a music video about robbing Potter's Cafe. Yes, they made a music video. And then Topical Juice, another wonderful, beautiful soul, went and does his own channel. And he's covering the P. Diddy stuff. If that's your thing, please check him out. Topical Juice. He never meant to get involved in the Jay Slater case. He wasn't covering it. He was covering Potter. That information came out through one when he was on the ground somewhere. He was approached by the individuals that allegedly made the video of breaking into Potter's place and stealing a watch. These guys explained that they had been the original owners of the cafe, I believe, to the best of my knowledge, and in that they got swindled out by a pair of Potter and someone named Lucy, which could be a business partner, right? So then I was looking over here at what I showed you about Lucy and the alleged person that was a witness back at this Green World Fest, right? She's claiming Lucy was with a mixed man. Every time I covered Potter paper, everyone told me he is a mixed race man. I'm like, thank you for sharing. Doesn't matter to me, hither, nither, right? However, it now is coming to light when I'm reading this person as a witness talked about Lucy with a mixed race man. I'm like, hold the phone. What? It's starting to really bother me. Like, who's the VIP? And if it turns out in the long run that Potter is the VIP, I would have been right from the start and would have just kept going. But I don't know if I am. I could be completely wrong. This is up to you to discern. I'm not here to start crap. I have actual questions, and these are my real questions. And you know, I wouldn't still be on it 4 months later asking about that dude if I didn't smell a rat. Something's wrong here. And I think Mark Williams does truly have some information after viewing those phones. And does it reveal where he came up with this idea that there was a drug rug world, right? Big questions. Big questions. Double Doll says this is heartbreaking. The Shudney, I don't know how to say that, honey, even be happening. Shouldn't. I thought it was some like Dutch word. This shouldn't even be happening if his so-called buddies looked out for him properly. No, unless it was a setup. James died. I can't today. If I say it wrong, it's the way it's going to go. Can't help it. James says also a man in his 40s and a child in the 80s when Jim will fix it was on telly. All the adults, my mwamba, knew he was a PDF file. I don't know what's going on. I don't even know what he's saying. Riv says Lucy came downstairs like she thinks she's top gangsta with the light-skinned guy. He's half Irish and half Algerian. Wasn't Duncan Smith on his channel asking if Ahab was Algerian? Or am I wrong? Now you got me wondering. Danny Briggs, because we have YouTube guidelines, and if we just talk about those words, they consider it to be a threat to safety, and then they will take your video down immediately. So we have to be cautious how we talk on YouTube because we have censorship here. Phil Houselop says, surely they would have burner disposable phones, which will be long destroyed. Don't think they would use their personal phones for work. You never know what phone he saw. You never know. I'm on about Sebel. Sorry, Mama. Okay. I was like, what? Ahab is Somalian. I believe that's true, Angela. It's not Potter. Put it in here earlier. You don't know. You weren't there. Nobody knows who it is. I'm not saying it was him. I'm saying we don't know who it was. He's not Somalian. That's Moody. I don't know. I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to get into the whole thing. All I know is a mixed race man is what they are referring to. Not me, them. That's interesting. He's not Somalian. That's a Moody. Hi, everybody. A little late. Violet Love, hello, and about goodbye too, hun. We're just jumping off here. Yes, Tank. Czech companies, they're all registered with UK companies' house. I've heard that. I've seen a lot of paperwork with all these weird companies and stuff. People send me some of the most interesting information, but I just forward it all to the authorities that need to see it, the people. Because I don't know what that legal stuff is that shows me how these people are all on these companies and stuff. I don't get it. Francis Green says, just how was he able to access the phone records? I said from the start he could not be trusted. I honestly think he is someone they use to allow the narrative so far, but stop information, and they do not. Is Rocky mixed race? I don't know. Mappa Festival 30, Mars 2024. Thank you, English Bottle Cap. You get a gold star. Siam Park Tenerife Presento por Green World. There it is. Boom, boom. That's awesome. Thank you. So that backs up that did take place in March, as this person is alleging. And she has pictures of her and Lucy together at that festival. She is alleging that Lucy is a runner. Peter Blexley says, Bonbon knew all about Jay, knows all about Tenerife ins and outs, and I thought he would push, but done nothing, and here we go again. Let's find something to end with that's let me find Jan's views. She's been doing a good job too. Is she in here? I'll show her. I can't find her. Well, go give her channel a shout out. All right, let me get on here. And Potter is mixed race, Portugal. Right, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, he bumped into him. Topical Juice actually bumped in to the actual people that allegedly broke into Potter's, right? And they were claiming they knew nothing about Jay Slater. They weren't talking about the Jay Slater case. They were talking about how they had gotten swindled out of business by a person named Potter, and you know who I'm talking about, and a girl or a female. I don't think they said that. They just said a woman named Lucy, a girl. Yeah, a girl named Lucy. A female named Lucy. And I'm asking you. Silver Cent, who remembers the American guy we thought was Johnny Vegas? What happened to him? I don't know. There it is. I found the comment that we end with. North Country Girl. Thanks, Mama D. Brilliant. As always, I think you guys are brilliant. I just come on here when I'm like, what is going on? Because I think of us working together every time we come together. It's a workshop. It's live. It's interactive. I learn so much from you. I'm so thankful for every like, subscriber, member, moderator, viewer, listener. You spent time with me in helping to understand more in the Jay Slater case, and I greatly appreciate that. I love you to the moon and back, and peace out, be safe, and that's a wrap. See you again